But if we talk about national executive meeting, the elections in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Telangana becomes very important for the party. Therefore, the view of the state CMs and the view of the 35 union minister and the state presidents will be taken how to proceed ahead and how to start prepping for it from now when the national executive meeting ends. Samiksha, back
Absolutely,
to you.
Harsha. Thank you for the moment. So all eyes on that Prime Minister's mega roadshow that will be covered from Patel Chowk to Sansad Marg and would cover approximately 1 kilometer. Thank you for the moment, Harsha. So closely tracking all the updates coming in with the opposition also trying to politicize it and questioning whether it is similar to the Bharat Jodo Yatra of the Congress party. And a roundup of news in brief. Congress attempting to brainwash people ahead of the assembly polls. A book titled Congress and Rashtra Nirman Ki Gatha being distributed to the Youth Congress now, which mentions V.D. Savarkar and Muhammad Ali Jinnah in the same category. BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla hit out at the Congress for releasing a book which equates Savarkar to Muhammad Ali Jinnah. BJP has alleged that Congress is attempting to distort history through lies and propaganda once again.
Once again, the Congress is back to doing what it does best, distort history and try to brainwash youth and the people through lies and propaganda in its attempt to whitewash the sins of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The book written by Congress leader Kamal Nath tries to equate and equalize Muhammad Ali Jinnah with Veer Savarkar ji, in a sense trying to downplay the actions of Muhammad Ali Jinnah which were responsible for partition, and they try to put the blame on Savarkar ji.
As SS Rajamouli's magnum opus RRR has won the Best International Film Awards at the 28th Annual Critics' Choice Awards after winning the prestigious Golden Globe Award for Natu Natu in the Best Original Song category. RRR makes big win yet again. A day after Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia's office saw a visit by CBI officials amid probe into the liquor gate, the ruling Aam Aadmi Party is now hit out at the probe agency. AAP's chief spokesperson Saurabh Bharat said that the CBI must inform before visiting the office.
मुख्यमंत्री का दफ्तर है, बाकायदा जिस दिन दफ्तर खुलता है उस दिन आइए, अफसर को चिट्ठी लिख दीजिए कि हमको ये चीजें लेनी है, हम वो लेने आ रहे हैं। भाई वो कोई इंडिया गेट कोई ना है कि वहां पे टहलते टहलते आपने जो है कुछ उठा लिया। भाई उप मुख्यमंत्री का दफ्तर है, छुट्टी वाले दिन आप वहां पे जाते हैं, सामान ढूंढते हैं, जो सामान आपको मन करता है वो उठा के ले जाते हैं। छापा और क्या होता है, यही तो होता है।
Authorities in J&K have now issued an avalanche warning with low danger level for 11 districts. The avalanches are likely to occur above 2,000 meters and public are advised to avoid venturing in the avalanche-prone areas. Ahead of the Union Budget, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that she's aware of the pressure on the middle class and recalled that the present government has not imposed any fresh taxes on the middle class category.
मैं आने वाले बजट के ऊपर तो कोई कुछ बोल नहीं सकती, और मैं भी मिडिल क्लास की हूं, इसलिए थोड़ा लिबर्टी लेकर के बोलना चाहती हूं। लिबर्टी जरूर लेना आवश्यक है। मिडिल क्लास का प्रेशर्स को मैं समझ पा रही हूं। आई आइडेंटिफाई माई सेल्फ विद मिडिल क्लास, सो आई नो। बट एक विषय में सरकार के अब तक के काम के ऊपर भी आपके सामने रखना चाहते हैं। कोई नया टैक्स मिडिल क्लास के ऊपर नहीं है अब तक।
Nepal Prime Minister Pushp Kamal Dahal will be visiting India on his first foreign trip in late February or early March. Sources say that the Nepal Prime Minister's visit will reportedly take place after the election of the new president in Nepal. The Bharatiya Janata Party will hold a grand roadshow of Prime Minister Modi today in the national capital. The roadshow will take place on the first day of the national executive meet in honor of the Prime Minister. Ahead of Prime Minister's roadshow in the national capital, Congress leader Jairam Ramesh targeted the Prime Minister, calling him insecure. He further added that the Prime Minister is rattled by the huge success of Bharat Jodo Yatra. Unidentified miscreants were seen looting around 40,000 in cash from a medical shop owner at gunpoint in Punjab's Faridkot. The CCTV footage of the attack has been captured from the medical store at Dhilwan Kalan village in the area. Slipping into a very short break for now, but do not go anywhere. A lot of news breaks coming up on the other side of this very short break. Another pre-poll controversy hits Madhya Pradesh. Congress releases book equates Savarkar to Jinnah. And rescue operations resume in Nepal's Pokhara. 68 deaths confirmed. Fate of 4 still hangs in balance.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjit Singh Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjit Singh Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का।
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic 47.3%, 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India #1.
All right, latest coming in on the death threat calls that were made to Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. We're now given to understand that a team of Maharashtra cops visited the Hindalga jail after they got to know that inmate had made threat calls to Union Minister Nitin Gadkari at his Nagpur office. We're given to understand that the caller who made these threat calls claimed that he was a member of gangster Dawood Ibrahim's team and even threatened to assassinate the minister. Identified himself and also gave a mobile number to call back, saying it was his number. So the latest coming in, the visuals on your screens as well of the Maharashtra cops who visited the Hindalka jail after those threat calls that were made to Union Minister Nitin Gadkari at his Nagpur office. We're also given to understand that the team of Nagpur police arrived in Belagavi and spoke to the jail authorities and suspected the inmate. The Belagavi city police has assisted them in the inquiry. The accused, meanwhile, has denied making those threat calls to Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. Meanwhile, latest coming in that the Nagpur police suspect that the accused is Shreyas alias who's been identified as Tejas Pujari from Mangaluru, who's lodged in the Hindalga jail. Well, the first visuals that we are also putting on the screens right now is of the accused who's been identified. We're given to understand that the Belagavi police is also assisting the Maharashtra cops in carrying out the inquiry into those threat calls that were made to Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. So the first visuals on your screens of the accused who's been identified, the Belagavi city police that is assisting the Maharashtra police in carrying out the investigation after those threat calls were made to Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. The image on your screens is of the accused who's been identified as Jayesh Pujari, who has been imprisoned in Hindalga jail for extortion, murder and attempt to murder as well. So the first visuals on the screens right now is of the accused who's been identified as Jayesh Pujari. He's been lodged in the Hindalga jail for crimes including extortion, murder and attempt to murder as well. So those are the details that are just coming in. In fact, let's play out that reaction that is coming from the Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis on the threat calls that were made to Union Minister Nitin Gadkari.
देखिए उसको जो माननीय गडकरी जी को धमकी आई थी उसको हमने ट्रेस किया और तुरंत ऐसा ध्यान में आया कि ये कॉल कर्नाटक बेलगांव से हुआ है। तुरंत नागपुर पुलिस ने बेलगांव पुलिस की मदद ली और बेलगांव के कमिश्नर से बात करके उसको ट्रेस किया गया। तब ऐसा ध्यान में आया कि एक व्यक्ति वहां की जेल में है, उस व्यक्ति ने थ्रेट कॉल किया है। अब उस तक मोबाइल कैसा पहुंचा, उसने किसके माध्यम से किया, क्यों किया, इसकी सारी जानकारी ली जा रही है। कर्नाटक की पुलिस भी हमको इसमें मदद कर रही है और इसकी सारी तफ्तीश अपनी एक टीम ने की है। लेकिन जब तक इसके पीछे का मोटिव ध्यान में नहीं आता तब तक ये तफ्तीश जारी रहेगी।
All right, so there you heard the reaction that is coming from the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Prajwal, we're given to understand that Amitesh Kumar, the COP of Nagpur, has also responded to this. Take us through what you've been picking from the Belagavi police that is assisting the Maharashtra cops in this investigation.
A dairy has been taken from Shreyas alias Jayesh alias Tejesh Pujari, who is a history sheeter in Karnataka because his history of committing crimes, extortion, murders, attempt to murders, as well as threats to VIPs and VVIPs is known across Karnataka, and he has a huge network. He had lastly associated himself with the D company, but there has been no sort of history sheet against him when it comes to terms of the connection with D company. But he is said to be, he's said to be a history sheeter because there are several cases which has been registered against Jayesh Pujari, and in the latest now we get to learn that one of the major cases that has been registered against Jayesh Pujari in 2008 was for murder as well as extortion, and dacoity was in 2008 in Uppinangadi police station. In 2006 he was awarded a death penalty. In 2016, I beg your pardon, in 2016 a death penalty was awarded, but later his death penalty was reduced to a life sentence. And in 2018 he had also made a threat call to the then IGP of the North, who is the present ADGP of Karnataka for law and order, Alok Kumar. and after which it is also now being understood that in 2019 he was shifted to the Mysuru jail because of the fact that he had a huge network over here in Belagavi at the Hindalga jail, where he had formed teams to go on and make threat calls to VIPs and VVIPs, and it is being understood that he ran his extortion racket out of this particular jail. Now it is now being, the cops are trying to match the voice samples in terms of the calls that the Union Minister for Road and Transport had received, his office had received, and 3 calls were received over here, Samiksha, and therefore in that regard, the ATS as well as the Nagpur police came in all the way from Maharashtra to the Hindalga jail. They interrogated him, and finally links are pointing out that J.S. Pujari was the one who had gone on to make calls. Now there has been a dairy which has already been seized by the Commissioner of Police for Nagpur, Amitesh Kumar, and he's gone on to reveal that an FIR has already been filed and cases has been registered under sections 503 and 504 as well. So all said and done now, this is something which we will need to look out for, because there is a larger extortion nexus here. There is a larger nexus which also points out that this extortion has been going for years in Belgavi, but authorities had not tended to it. We will have to wait in for the official information from the Nagpur police as to what are the contents of the dairies and who were these high profile targets that J.S. Pujari had gone on to make calls to.
Like Prajwal is telling us, J.S. Pujari, the accused who's lodged in the Hindalga jail, has been identified. He's known for making extortion calls. He's been imprisoned for on charges of extortion, murder and attempt to murder as well. In fact, a reaction that has come in from the Nagpur cop as well. Let's listen into what the police official has to say.
इसमें एक हमने कल ऑफेंस रजिस्टर किया है धनतोली पुलिस स्टेशन में 385, 387 जो एक्सटॉर्शन के सेक्शंस होते हैं, 506 भी धमकी देने का, 507 आईपीसी इसके अंतर्गत गुना दाखिल किया गया है। तपास अभी शुरू है। हमारी टीम रश की थी बेलगांव के लिए। वहाँ तपास में ऐसा निष्पन्न हुआ है कि एक आरोपी बेलगांव जेल के अंदर से ये कॉल किया था। अभी उसके पास से हमारी पुलिस टीम्स ने झड़ती वगैरह ली है, एक डायरी उसके पास से मिला है। बाकी टीम उसको वहाँ पे इंट्रोगेट कर रही है जेल अथॉरिटी से परमिशन के बाद। तपास बहुत ही प्रिलिमिनरी स्टेज पे है, इसके बारे में डिटेल्स आपको समय पे दिया जाएगा। आरोपी का नाम और जहाँ से उसने फोन किया था जेल से, फांसी की सजा भी उसको हुई है इसके बाद। जेल ये जो आरोपी है ये इसके ऊपर पहले 302, 392 का एक ऑफेंस 2008 का था। उस ऑफेंस में ये 2018 में इसको फांसी की सजा हुई थी, तब से वो जेल में है। इसका रिकॉर्ड पहले भी और भी ऑफेंसेस जेल से भाग जाने का या फिर और भी लोगों को इस प्रकार की धमकी की कॉल करने की, इस प्रकार की उसकी क्राइम रिकॉर्ड है। अभी तपास टीम्स हमारी वहाँ पे है, जेल अथॉरिटीज़ के साथ मिलके वहाँ पे इंट्रोगेशन वगैरह शुरू है। योग्य समय पे आपको और डिटेल्स दिए जाएंगे। इसका नाम और
The National Executive meet will begin today after a roadshow by the Prime Minister. JP Nadda has arrived here at the national headquarters of the Bharatiya Janata Party to overlook the office bearer meeting. Stay tuned to Republic TV. We'll be right back after a very short break to keep you ahead of all the political outcomes from the National Executive meeting.
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjit Singh Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjit Singh Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic 47.3%. 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India number one.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर. एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान. जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं.
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए. प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान. उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त. मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है.
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjit Singh Jassa and Naushad over their involvement.
It's going to be a mega Monday roadshow for the Prime Minister in the national capital this afternoon. The BJP's two-day national executive meeting will be beginning after the roadshow. Prime Minister as well as top BJP leaders will be attending it. Congress targets Prime Minister ahead of the roadshow, says the Prime Minister is rattled by the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Another pre-poll controversy hits Madhya Pradesh. The Congress releases a book equates Veer Savarkar to Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Apex Court to hear a plea seeking sinking of Joshimath to be declared as a national disaster. And rescue operations resume in Nepal's Pokhara. 68 deaths are confirmed. Fate of 4 is unknown. Good morning and welcome. You are watching live and breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. We begin with news that's just coming in from Pakistan at the moment. The Prime Minister there, Shehbaz Sharif, has said that it is embarrassing for him to seek more loans from friendly countries, saying that it is not a permanent solution for cash-strapped countries' economic challenges. The Prime Minister has regretted that during the past 75 years, different governments, whether headed by political leaderships or military dictators, could not address the economic issues. Sharif said that it was really embarrassed him to ask further loans while lauding the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for financial support. Joining me on the phone line is our consulting editor, Major Gaurav Varya. Major Gaurav Varya, good morning. Aren't the chickens coming home to roost now as far as Pakistan is concerned? I mean, they have concentrated and focused on everything else apart from their own economic woes, and those, of course, have piled up over the years now.
No, see, Shehbaz Sharif saying that, it's embarrassing to ask friendly country for loans. He has said this before. His brother Nawaz Sharif has said this before. In fact, Imran Khan went on to say that he will commit suicide before asking for, loans or aid from other countries, especially the IMF. But Imran Khan is on record as to having taken the most or, the maximum amount of loans in the history of Pakistan. So this is all lip service. This is just to tell the people of Pakistan that, listen, yeah, we're heartbroken. We don't want to take loans. But what can we do? The situation is like that we have to take loans, etc. But all of them are happy to take loans. Let me just give you a small example. Billions of dollars were given to fight COVID. Pakistan was funded and billions of dollars worth of equipment and cash were given to Pakistan to fight COVID. Where is that money? Where is the money for building of dams which they had collected? There are so many things. People have given money for these floods. Where is that money? So, you see, all the money is siphoned off. It goes off into bank accounts in London, in Dubai, in other places in Europe, America. So this is what happens. This is just a screensaver that we are ashamed and we don't like taking loans. Of course, they like taking loans. That is where the money comes from. Otherwise, tell me, what does Pakistan manufacture? What does Pakistan make? What economy does Pakistan have? It is just grants and loans that is keeping Pakistan afloat, mostly for its 75 years of existence.
Absolutely, and this statement, of course, does come once again at the point that Pakistan will be asking for a bigger loan from the IMF soon enough. So you see this as just hogwash, is it?
Absolutely. It's absolutely hogwash. It's absolute hogwash, and this is just, domestic signaling. Telling the people of Pakistan that, what can I do, and ye hamari majboori hai, we have to take a loan, otherwise the country will sink. They don't mean it. I mean, as I said before, Imran Khan said he'll commit suicide. And after saying he'll commit suicide, he went on to take perhaps the biggest loans in the history of Pakistan. So that is Pakistan for you. They say one thing and mean exactly the opposite. Nothing which needs to be taken seriously. They are already preparing to ask Saudi again for loans. They have already sent another mission, are planning to send another mission to China on a begging spree. And this will continue. You see, even if they get the money, let us say they get the money. What are they going to do after 2 months? This money will last for 2 months. Then what they will do? There is no economic plan. Has Shehbaz Sharif shared an economic plan? Has Imran Khan, who wants to become the Prime Minister of Pakistan, actually shared what he will do once he comes back to power? No. They don't have any plan. They don't have any vision. There is no policy. It is just that keep giving us money and forget about it. They have also said, the Pakistani businessmen and industrialists have got together. They've actually 3 days back advised Shehbaz Sharif that ask for loan forgiveness. Tell the world that, sorry, we can't pay. They don't realize that this is what bankrupt economies do. So this is Pakistan almost unofficially declaring bankruptcy, saying that we can't pay you back. And that's what they're saying. Tell the world, ask them for loan forgiveness. We are sorry, we can't pay back what we took from you. That's it.
Right. Right, Major Arya, appreciate your speaking to us and joining us on that. So, Major Gaurav Arya, of course, feeling that this, at this point, is just another statement that's coming in from Pakistan. And the reality of it, of course, is that if Pakistan doesn't get these loans from world organizations, including the IMF, which, by the way, refused them a loan in November 2022, the IMF had released a statement saying that they cannot release a pending payment of about $1.18 billion due to the government's unwillingness to meet certain demands, including assurances from Pakistan on increasing energy rates, imposing more taxes and artificial control over the exchange rate. I do remember that Pakistan, of course, has been beset by economic woes for a while now. The devastating floods, of course, only just added to that situation. There is a forex crunch which the country is currently facing. And just to give you a bit of data, the country is in the midst of a severe cash crunch as well, with foreign exchange reserves of the SPP, that is the State Bank of Pakistan, depleting to about 5.567 billion during the week, that ended December 30th, 2022. So obviously things aren't looking good at all for Pakistan. Joining me right now on the broadcast is Mr. Sushant Sareen. Mr. Sareen, good morning. How do you see the statement that's coming in from Shehbaz Sharif, where he says that it doesn't behove nuclear power to go to the world with a begging bowl? But the fact of the matter is that they're pretty badly off and there really is no option for them.
Yeah, let me just correct you on your data on how badly off they are. Their foreign exchange reserves are likely to fall this week under $4 billion, which is just about 2.5 weeks of imports. And that's as close to default as you can be. The next stage is defaulting and then becoming a Sri Lanka on steroids. So that's how bad the economic situation is. What Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif said is really a statement of fact. It shows the kind of embarrassment these people are going through, but this is an embarrassment that people like Shahbaz Sharif, Imran Khan, and Bonnie and Clyde's son Bilawal Bhutto have brought upon their country. Because these people have looted and pillaged in their country so badly, including in conjunction with the Pakistani armed forces, that they are now literally running on empty. They spend other people's money thinking that there is no payback, but that payback time has come. And for Mr. Shahbaz Sharif to keep, parroting this thing of nuclear weapons power, we've seen a superpower armed with nuclear weapons go bust and then break up. And I'm talking about the erstwhile Soviet Union. So this is not going to be the first time if this happens. But the fact of the matter remains the Pakistanis produce nothing. Their only value to the world is now nuisance value. And I think the world has started realizing it. And how much of freebies are they going to be given? So frankly speaking, going forward, unless the Pakistanis are ready to reform, and by reform, it means a very deep surgery on the economic structure, which means that the entire economy will have to severely contract to come to a point where it becomes sustainable. Because the way Pakistan is right now, it's an unviable country. It's unsustainable. And I think that is a reality which has started sinking in among some people. But then, again, the moment you add your economic problems and you equate it with your nuclear weapon status, then that means that you're not thinking about the economy. You still have a chip on your shoulder. And beggars can't be choosers. And the moment the Pakistanis realize that, the better it is for them. But one last point. Yes. I think it's a perfect time for the rest of the world to use this as an opportunity to not only cut the nuisance of the Pakistan army to size, but also to get a firmer control over Pakistan's nuclear arsenal and limit it to a point where it does not become a threat to the world.
Right.
And I think there needs to be better monitoring and better control over those weapon systems, because otherwise, with Pakistan being the way it is, it becomes a threat to the entire world. It's not just a threat to India.
Absolutely.
It's a threat to the world.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Serene, perhaps you see their nuclear weapons as a bit of a bargaining chip that the developed world has for them. Thank you for the moment for joining us. Now, we're also learning that even as economic woes, of course, continue, there appears to be a power crunch that could be hitting the country soon. There are massive power cuts across Pakistan's capital that are now being reported. All right, joining me on the broadcast right now is Colonel Rohit Dev as well. Colonel Dev, good morning. Colonel Dev, we've had a statement that's come in from the Pakistani Premier where he says that it doesn't look good for us to keep going to the world economic bodies with a begging bowl. But the fact of the matter is that they're quite badly off, and some people believe that this is just a facade that they're putting on, because they're quite used to going to world bodies, asking them for loans and defaulting them. And in a sense, this perhaps is the worst economic crisis that is facing Pakistan.
Right. So you will find this as a trend. The moment they came out of the grey list, a few months back, they have been trying to use their chip to get the funding done again. Now, these two countries specifically, UAE and Saudi Arabia, are the countries which are oil-rich countries who actually control the economics of the world. They will raise the value of the barrel as they want. So for them to give $1 billion, $3 billion, $5 billion rolling over of those USD dollars to Pakistan is actually nothing great. And half the time they use the word grant and then they say loan, and Pakistan is not being able to pay those loans back. Coming to Mr. Sharif's statement per se, and when he says that his generations of quality have failed the country, I think he's right, because that also includes in a larger part his own family who were at the helm of affairs. And Pakistan, you see typically last 7-10 years, and I will say from the time the Chinese started physical investment in Pakistan, actually it has gone into an economic abyss. And there is no way, as I see today, with the fiscal deficit having risen and the debt part risen, they are going to come to any terms of economic stability anytime soon. But yes, I just heard the last part of Mr. Sareen was saying about the bargaining chip of the nuclear part. While I agree that is correct, the other part is that the lobby of the defense manufacturing in US is quite high. They control government, they control businesses, they control wars across the world, and you can give it any cloak you want to, but they are the people who mean business. So when you give money for refurbishment of the F-16, you are actually giving money to the defense manufacturing company. So that is the way they have been. But to take autonomous control of the assets of nuclear type from Pakistan by any country, I don't think so. That's going to happen. You can have a leverage by saying we're giving you money and we need to seek controls. But physical control is something which is quite offset. Is not going to come through. And Pakistan remains on that. You see, for the long time they said nuclear bogey with India, and we called out their bluff a few years back. So that's the way it is going to be now. And I don't think so we should give too much of credence to the statement of Mr. Sharif.
Absolutely.
Because, he will remain in that economic turmoil. He will keep seeking funds. The Islamic Caliphate dream will continue. How to cut India to size by getting these funds is their main aim. They have been devoid of this fund for the last 7 years to actually beef up their terrorist activities against India per se and call Kashmir with any confidence. So I think that is where it is all going. And I don't think so they're going to come out of this economic abyss anytime soon.
Absolutely. Colonel Rohit Dev, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. Thank you for joining us. As Colonel Rohit Dev is pointing out, of course, perhaps we could, the world economic bodies could use their nuclear weapons as a leverage, but nothing more than that. And news just coming in from China. We are learning that a massive explosion at a chemical plant in northeastern China has killed at least 2 people and left 12 people missing. Another 34 people were injured in the explosion Sunday on the outskirts of the city of Panjin in Liaoning province, east of the capital of Beijing. Let's go across to Samiksha, who's reporting on this from our Mumbai newsroom. She joins us live. Samiksha, give us more details of this particular incident, and also tell us more about what caused it.
That's right, Tupur. So from what we know, this explosion happened on Sunday on the outskirts of the city of Panjin in Liaoning province, which is the east of the capital Beijing. Now, what we've given to understand from the photos of flames and thick black smoke that can be seen rising from that complex of chemical processing machinery, the damage is huge. We're given to understand 2 people have lost their lives and more than 12 people are said to be missing. In fact, another 34 people who were injured in this explosion, which happened on the outskirts, of course, of this Liaoning province of capital Beijing. Now, of course, talking about the cause of this accident, which still remains under investigation as per authorities. But people have also been posting about this on social media. They said that they felt the shock of the explosion, but the damage did not happen to extend beyond. The damage did not appear to extend beyond the plant. So, of course, it is the industrial accident there. It is the chemical factory where this explosion happened. Also remember that China, which is of course the world's second largest economy, suffers the deadly industrial accidents on a regular basis. So this is not something new. Let's not forget there was an explosion which happened in 2015 as well at a similar chemical warehouse where people died. Approximately more than 170 people lost their lives. And similar accident, of course, happening right now. The cause of this, of course, under investigation as we speak. But the damage is said to be huge, as 2 people have lost their lives and more than 12 people are still said to be missing.
All right, Samiksha reporting on that from Mumbai, joining us right now. Thank you very much. Samiksha is bringing us more details in terms of what's happened so far. We are now learning that 34 people have been injured, 12 are still missing, 2 people have been killed in this explosion that took place on the outskirts of the city of Panjin in Liaoning province, east of the capital, Beijing. A look at the top news stories we're tracking this morning. Congress has released a new book titled Congress and Rashtra Nirman Ke Gatha ahead of elections which has been distributed to the Youth Congress. Now, the book sparked a controversy as Veer Savarkar and Pakistan's founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah have been mentioned in the same category. The BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla hit out at the Congress party for releasing the book which equates Savarkar and Jinnah. The BJP alleges that the Congress is attempting to distort history through lies and propaganda.
Once again, the Congress is back to doing what it does best: distort history and try to brainwash youth and the people through lies and propaganda in its attempt to whitewash the sins of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The book, written by Congress leader Kamal Nath, tries to equate and equalize Muhammad Ali Jinnah with Veer Savarkar ji, in a sense trying to downplay the actions of Muhammad Ali Jinnah which were responsible for partition, and they try to put the blame on Savarkar ji.
S.S. Rajamouli's magnum opus RRR has won the Best International Film Award at the 20th Annual Critics' Choice Award after winning the prestigious Golden Globe Award for Natu Natu in the Best Original Song category. RRR, of course, has made yet another big win. A day after Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia's office saw a visit by CBI officials amid a probe in the excise policy case, the ruling Aam Aadmi Party has hit out at the probe agency. The Aam Aadmi Party's chief spokesperson said that the CBI must inform before visiting their office.
मुख्यमंत्री का दफ्तर है, बाकायदा जिस दिन दफ्तर खुलता है उस दिन आइए, अफसर को चिट्ठी लिख दीजिए कि हमको ये चीजें लेनी है, हम वो लेने आ रहे हैं। भाई वो कोई इंडिया गेट कोई ना है कि वहां पे टहलते टहलते आपने जो है कुछ उठा लिया। भाई उप मुख्यमंत्री का दफ्तर है, छुट्टी वाले दिन आप वहां पे जाते हैं, सामान ढूंढते हैं, जो सामान आपको मन करता है वो उठा के ले जाते हैं, छापा और क्या होता है, यही तो होता है।
Authorities in Jammu and Kashmir have issued an avalanche warning with low danger level for 11 districts. The avalanches are likely to occur above 2,000 meters, and the public is advised to avoid venturing to avalanche-prone areas. Ahead of the union budget, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that she is aware of the pressures of the middle class and recalled that the present government has not imposed any fresh taxes on them.
मैं आने वाले बजट के ऊपर तो कोई कुछ बोल नहीं सकती हूं, और मैं भी मिडिल क्लास की हूं, इसलिए थोड़ा लिबर्टी लेकर के बोलना चाहती हूं। लिबर्टी जरूर लेना आवश्यक है। मिडिल क्लास का प्रेशर्स को मैं समझ पा रही हूं। आई आइडेंटिफाई माई सेल्फ विद मिडिल क्लास, सो आई नो। बट एक विषय में सरकार के अब तक के काम के ऊपर भी आपके सामने रखना चाहता हूं। कोई नया टैक्स मिडिल क्लास के ऊपर नहीं है अब तक।
Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal is likely to visit India on his first foreign trip in late February or early March. Sources say that his visit will reportedly take place after the election of the new president. The BJP will be holding a grand roadshow of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi today in the national capital. The roadshow will take place on the first day of the National Executive meeting in honour of the PM. A team of the Nagpur police has visited Hindalga jail in Belgavi to speak to authorities and question Jayesh Pujari. Pujari is an inmate who allegedly made threat calls to Nitin Gadkari's office. Unidentified miscreants have looted around 40,000 rupees in cash from a medical shop owner at gunpoint in Punjab's Faridkot. CCTV footage of the attack has been captured from the medical store at Dhilwan Kalan village. Police investigation is underway.
Rescue operations have been launched by police, army as well as the SDRF as far as the Sarbal, Gandarbal is concerned, because 172 labourers who have been working on the Zojila tunnel today morning have been shifted to the safer location. Yesterday evening the place witnessed 2 avalanches, and because of the avalanche the minor damage was reported to one of the sheds located in this very area, although the administration has already issued an alert, and also the Met has said that the people living near the snowbound areas should move to the safer location. Met has predicted the dry weather till 18th of this month, and then from 19th onwards the fresh weather disturbances will affect the Jammu and Kashmir. We have been seeing the Jammu and Kashmir witnessing the fresh snowfall, and also because of which the train as well as the flight system got disturbed. We are seeing the rescue operation continuing as far as Sonmarg, Gandarbal is concerned. With Vijay Firdoswani, I'm Zina Zishan Fazal for Republic in Central Kashmir.
You are watching Republic TV. On the other side, the Apex Court is likely to hear a plea seeking the sinking of Joshimath to be declared as a national disaster. Rescue operations resume in Pakistan and Nepal's Pokhara. 68 deaths are confirmed. The fate of 4 people is still unknown.
When timeless European design meets cutting-edge technology, it's QO. QO, European Bath Lounges.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly, and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic, 47.3%. 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India #1.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर. एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान. जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं.
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए. प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान. उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त. मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है.
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjit Singh Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjit Singh Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has.
When timeless European design meets cutting-edge technology, it's QO. QO, European bath lounges.
Republic, 47.3%. 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India number one.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjeet Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenade from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjeet Singh Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का।
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me.
Prime Minister Modi set to hold a mega roadshow in the national capital today. BJP's two-day national executive meeting to be held today. BJP top brass to attend. Apex Court to hear a plea seeking sinking of Joshimath be declared as national disaster. As worst ever crisis hits Pakistan, Pakistan Prime Minister admits he is embarrassed to beg for loans. Massive explosion at a chemical plant in China. At least 2 dead, 12 reported missing. Rescue operations resume in Nepal's Pokhara. 68 deaths confirmed, fate of 4 unknown. Hello and welcome. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic. I'm Rukma with you. And in news that's breaking in from Afghanistan now. Afghanistan security authorities have confirmed that Mursal Nabizada, a former Afghan member of parliament and one of her security guards, were on Sunday killed in Kabul. Mursal Nabizada, a former representative of Laghman province in the Afghan parliament, was killed by unknown gunmen in Kabul city's 12th district.
Reports suggest unknown gunmen entered Mursal Nabizada's home in the Ahmed Shah Baba Mena locality in Kabul city's 12th district. The gunmen shot dead 2 people. And one of the persons who was shot dead was the MP. So now confirmation coming in from Afghanistan security authorities of the death of Mursal Nabizada. And to tell our viewers more about Mursal Nabizada, she is a former Afghan she's a former Afghan member of parliament. Gunmen entered her home and shot her and her guard, a security guard, dead. And this happened on Sunday in Kabul. And I go across now to my colleague Samiksha, joining us from the Mumbai newsroom to take us through more updates on this, more details on this. Samiksha, for our viewers, take us through this breaking update coming in. Now, it's been confirmed that this Afghan MP was shot dead by gunmen in an ambush, can we say. They broke into her home. Gunmen broke into her home and shot her dead. Tell us more.
Well, that's right, Rukma. So, a former Afghan member of parliament who's been identified as Mursal Nabizada and one of her security guards as well were killed on Sunday in Kabul. Now, we do not yet know who is behind this particular incident, but important to note here the kind of incidents that have been happening in Afghanistan, where there is an attempt to suppress the voices of women, be it in terms of, the latest diktats that have come in from the Taliban leaders, not allowing women to work at non-governmental organizations and even barring women from pursuing higher education in Afghanistan. In fact, talking about this latest incident, we are given to understand that it was on 4th of January when several blasts were heard in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. The blasts, of course, come 3 days after at least 10 people were killed and 3 others were seriously injured in an explosion which happened at the Kabul military airport. So there have been a series of blasts that have been taking place in the capital of Afghanistan, Kabul. In fact, the Taliban's interior minister spokesperson also said that the explosion caused injuries close to the military airport's main gate in Kabul. So, yes, of course, this is the latest incident in which the former Afghanistan member of parliament lost her life. It was her security guard as well who was with her, who was also killed in this blast. We do not yet know who was behind this attack, but those were unknown gunmen who seem to have entered the former Afghan members of parliament's house. In Kabul, in the 12th district, the gunmen shot dead 2 people, which included, of course, this Afghan member of parliament, former Afghan member of parliament, and her security personnel. Rukma.
So while, Samiksha, as of now, it could be either a case of a crackdown on women in the public eye, on women in positions of power, it could also be a terror attack. But what are authorities saying about the kind of investigations? Because we hear that even as we speak now, there's no reaction from the family of Nabizada as such, even though her brother too was injured. We hear, Samiksha, in this particular incident.
Rukma, for now, there is a statement that has come in from the spokesperson of the Kabul security department who's made it very clear that those responsible have not been identified yet, and the reason also behind this killing remains unclear. So neither have those miscreants been identified, nor do we know the reason behind killing. But just to take our viewers through what we know so far, this incident happened. It happened on Sunday when these miscreants, they entered the house of the former MP. The gunmen shot dead not just the former Afghan MP but also her security personnel. Also important to note here that this comes amid recent spate in terror activities in Afghanistan. Remember, there was a blast that occurred in front of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Kabul on Sunday, and a series of blasts, in fact, to have happened in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, on January 4th. So there's been a spate in, blasts that have been happening in Afghanistan, and a brutal crackdown when it comes to suppressing of women voices. We know, of course, how women are now no longer allowed to work at those non-governmental organizations. Countries have also come out openly how they condemn this kind of crackdown that is happening in Afghanistan. And amidst all this, we see it's a woman, former Afghan MP, who was shot dead inside her own house. Rukma.
Many thanks, Samiksha, for joining us there and for bringing us up to speed on that. So, Mursal Nabizada, it's been confirmed by Afghan security authorities, has been shot dead. She's a former Afghan MP, but details are still awaited. Moving on now, we get you news from Maharashtra's Gadkari, and reports are coming in of firing by Maoists on a police team in Vedampalli forest area of Aheri Tehsil in Gadkari after retaliatory action from police yesterday. 20 to 25 Naxals fled into the forest. Police seized weapons and material from the spot. We'll try and get you more details, but right now what we are hearing that Maoists in retaliation for yesterday's crackdown by the police opened fire at a police team in Gadkari in Maharashtra. That's all as far as the details we have as of now are concerned. Yesterday, the Maoists had fled into the forest under the police crackdown, but today we are hearing that they opened fire at a police company in Gadkari in Maharashtra. Piyush Ori to take us through this breaking update. Piyush Ori, Maoists, we believe it's another encounter between Maoists. What are you hearing as far as any casualties are concerned, and is the operation still underway? And this is an incident from Gadkari in Maharashtra. Yesterday there was police action against Maoists. Today, in retaliatory fire, Maoists shot at a police team in the village of Vedampalli in Gadkari in Maharashtra. Yesterday, under the impact of police action, a number of Maoists had fled into the forest. And joining us now is Piyush Ori to tell us what details he has. Piyush Ori, what can you tell us about this latest incident of Maoists firing on a police team? We believe it's retaliatory fire. What are the latest updates as far as casualties and so on are concerned?
So yes, this is a very serious incident that has occurred in Maharashtra's district of Gadkari, which for long has been a base for Maoist and Naxal, but because of the effort of CRPF and Maharashtra police, the number of Naxals in this area is slowly reducing. In one of the retaliatory action that was taken by the Maharashtra police, as we've been told, there was firing of gunshots by the Maoists also. Now, what we have been told is that we do not know about the casualties as such. The operations is going, but yes, after a long time, we are getting to hear that there has another action in Gadkari area between the Maoists and the security forces because of the tough action that was taken by the security agencies in the past. You never got to hear the such kind of actions, at least in Gadkari. But yes, with this kind of action now being reported from Gadkari, this is a serious news which has been coming up. As of now, we have not been told about the casualties, but yes, perhaps there can be some casualties that may be reported. It's only going to be in the coming few minutes or hours that we are going to definitely know about what action and what casualties have taken place. Back to the studio.
Right. And these are visuals, viewers, that we're getting you. Police, as you can see, marching in that area. For the past few weeks now, Piyush, we've been hearing about police action in that area. But the success that the police has achieved has been, just 1 week back, we heard about a woman Naxal being killed. Then that has been the basic success as far as. But yesterday's operation had yielded a lot of results because the police were able to seize weapons and material from the spot. clearly inroads are being made by by security forces into this hotbed of Naxal activity.
Of the continuous and persistent action by security agencies like Central Reserve Public Police Force and state police, there has been a lot of success that have been achieved by these police forces, not only in Naxal hotbeds of Maharashtra like Gadkari, but also in areas of Jharkhand, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, and also West Bengal. So yes, there has been a lot of success, but nevertheless you also need to now understand that there are some areas, at least in Chhattisgarh, where Naxals still have a strong base. So the continuous battle between the security forces and Naxals are ongoing, but yes, it is now going to be interesting to watch that what action, what success, and unfortunately, if there are any casualties, is being reported from this action that has been taken by the Maharashtra police on the Naxal base in Gadkari area of Maharashtra, which, mind you, has definitely seen a lot of wearing down of Naxal forces because of the efforts of CRPF and the state police force. Back to you in the studio.
And let's get you more voices now on this particular incident, as security forces have another success in Gadkari, a hotbed of Naxal activity so far. Joining me now is the DCP Nilotpal. Nilotpal ji, many thanks for speaking with Republic. Tell us more about this incident. We believe security forces yesterday had a lot of success as far as their operation was concerned, but today the Maoists came back and fired once again at them.
No, actually this is not true. Yesterday we had a credible hint that there is a congregation of 20 to 25 Naxals of Perimali Palam in and around Vedampalli forest under Perimali police station jurisdiction. Immediately an operation was launched in which C60 parties were sent for combing the area, and during the combing of when the combing operation was going on, our parties were fired upon by the group of Naxals, and our parties fought bravely and they retaliated with a heavy fire on them. In this exchange of fire, there has not been any casualty from our end, and there has not been even single injury to our commandos. And in that case, the Naxals managed to flee, seeing the heavy fire from our end. But we were able to recover one Bharmar, one pistol, and so many Naxal literatures which were part of the Naxal Dalap. And further operation in that area is going on. Today there has not been any firing related to that incident.
Well, many thanks. So no firing. Many thanks, Nilotpal ji, for joining us. Nilotpal, DCP of Gadkari, speaking with Republic there. As he's confirmed, there was no firing today. The incident relates to the combing operation and the operation by police that took place in the Verampalli forest yesterday. Let's move on now to other top stories that we're tracking. 12 people died, over 30 were left missing as a Russian missile strike destroyed a section of an apartment building in the southern Ukrainian city of Dnipro. Massive rescue operations underway. Thousands of residents also joined the rescue workers at the scene to help clear the rubble. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that he spoke to UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak about some very important things regarding defense strategy of Ukraine in the backdrop of the ongoing Russian attacks. And meanwhile, Russia has claimed that their forces have captured the Ukrainian town of Soledar. This comes a day after the Russian Defense Ministry acknowledged the act of Russian forces, claiming their act to be courageous and selfless action to capture Soledar. Stunned residents tried to salvage belongings and rescue crews pulled survivors from beneath collapsed houses on Friday in the aftermath of a tornado spawning storm system that killed at least 9 people as it barreled across parts of Georgia and Alabama. Anderson Torres, ex-President Jair Bolsonaro's former justice minister, detained by authorities on his arrival back in the Brazilian capital. The country's top court has called for a probe into his actions. The court has observed that Torres fired subordinates and left the country before the riots, an indication that he was deliberately laying the groundwork for the unrest. Thousands of soldiers and supporters of the Polisario Front, the Western Sahara's pro-independence movement, met in Algeria to mark the beginning of a party conference. The gathering will seek to discuss the party policy and strategy in its struggle against Morocco, which has controlled most of Western Sahara since 1975 after the withdrawal of Spanish colonists. Thousands of protesters angry at Tunisia's economic crisis and the president's increasingly authoritarian drift marched to the capital on a call from opposition parties to mark 12 years since Tunisian protesters unleashed Arab Spring uprisings around the region. Tens of thousands of Israelis gather in central Tel Aviv to protest against plans by Prime Minister Netanyahu's new government to overhaul the country's legal system and weaken the Supreme Court. And joining us, breaking news coming in now, IT raids in Karnataka. But to know more details, we go across to my colleague who's joining me right now. So we are hearing about Karnataka Congress Kisan Cell leader Akmal's house in Chikmagaluru being raided. 8 officials raided his house early this morning, and a team of 8 people raided the Karnataka Kisan leader's home, and not just his home but his coffee estate as well. And Prajwal, my colleague, joining me to give me more details about what can you tell us about these raids, Prajwal?
Now we're getting to understand that these raids happened earlier this morning by a team of 8 IT officials in Chikmangalore's Sharif Gully, and it is now mainly being understood that Congress leader Akmal's residence as well as his coffee estates too have been raided by the IT officials. And all these, it is initially being understood that the Congress leader Akmal had evaded taxes too. It's something that is being learned now, but more details are to be given by the IT officials too. And now the IT officials are also going through the documents that has been.
The officials are also going through the documents that has been seized from Akmal's residence now, and more of now mainly when it comes to Akmal is also the IT cell. He's the leader of the IT wing of the Congress cell in Karnataka, and he's someone who's said to be very close to the leader of opposition in the assembly, Siddaramaiah, as well. But now the Congress are also going on and making statements that the central agencies are targeting the Congress leaders because of the upcoming elections in Karnataka, and this is something which is very wrong as well. And even as we are speaking, more details are to emerge about these IT raids which are happening currently in Chikmagaluru district.
And well, many thanks, Prajwal. You keep your eyes on that story. We'll be coming back to you for more later on. Time now for a short break. On the other side, Prime Minister Modi set to hold mega roadshow in the national capital today. Also coming up, massive explosion at a chemical plant in China. At least 2 dead, 12 reported missing.
When timeless European design meets cutting-edge technology, it's QO. QO, European bath lounges.
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjeet Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjeet Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic, 47.3%. 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India number one.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर. एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान. जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं.
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic 47.3%. 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India number one.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ?
All right, so the first visuals coming in right now of Prime Minister interacting with the Agniveers. So yes, a lot of developments today. Prime Minister there addressing the first batch of Agniveers. Simultaneously, remember the BJP's National Executive Meet also starts today. It's a two-day National Executive Meet. Also the Prime Minister's Roadshow, which will be held in the national capital today. So Prime Minister there all set to address. In fact, he's begun addressing the first batch of Agniveers. As we speak, our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor joins us for more. Abhishek, if you can talk to us about the significance of this Prime Minister there addressing the first batch of Agniveers as we speak.
Well, remember this is a new concept introduced by the Indian Army where these youngsters in the age group of 17 to 21 would train for a few months and then get integrated into the armed forces, all the three wings, Army, Navy, Air Force, and then serve 4-year tenures. And then there would be another test after which only about 10% would be absorbed in the army, and rest, of course, go back to the civil society with the government really helping them with jobs. And in the intervening period, they would be given some reimbursements. But what is important is this is the first batch of about 700 or 637 to be precise, Agniveers. This is the first batch, and hence called the Pioneer Agniveers. And I think the Prime Minister, in the presence of the Defence Minister, is engaging with them. They are to be trained in Odisha. Parallelly, these are of the Army Air Defence. And we have seen how Agniveer process has started for all the three wings, Army, Navy, and Air Force. And we can see in the pictures, for example, all those Agniveer cadets taken in at their various training centers. They are listening to the Prime Minister, where Prime Minister, in these first visuals shared from the Prime Minister's office, can be seen speaking to them. While we are going to get more details, this is Prime Minister's Agniveer outreach. Remember the controversy that had surrounded with some protests also taking place in some parts of the country, particularly Bihar, with taking, and these protests actually taking political spin. Subsequent to which we saw the army brass coming out, in fact, the chiefs really coming out and explaining the nuances of the project and how it really benefits the forces, as also, of course, makes the army younger. And then all those Agniveers who would be coming back to the civil society, how they would bring in values of discipline and commitment and integrity and sacrifice, and thus enrich all aspects of society. So I think the Prime Minister making that outreach, as he does in most of the cases, trying to communicate the intent of the government and the forces behind this project, directly communicating with them and putting to rest all concerns, all doubts that were there. Now that all these 700 Agniveers who would be absorbed after 6 months training into those various wings and arms of the forces, and subsequently, spend about 4 years. Parallelly, of course, they would be given a degree which helps them get jobs and come back and get absorbed in the civil society as responsible citizens of the country.
Yes. Abhishek, stay with us. So, of course, stand by for Prime Minister's interaction with the Agniveers there. Of course, very significant in many ways. Abhishek, of course, continues to be with us. Abhishek, for our viewers also who are watching this broadcast, if you can once again take us through the process of the Agniveer recruitment drive, because let's not forget there was misinformation that was being peddled when this drive was launched by the centre. Abhishek, if you can hear us, if you can once again for our viewers take us through the recruitment drive of this Agniveer, how it is going to be like, because let's not forget how there was an attempt to spread misinformation, false information when it comes to recruitment drive of the Agniveers.
Well, yes. So remember when this project really rolled out with the forces carrying out press conferences to give details, we saw simultaneously protests really panning out across some pockets of the country. I won't say the entire country, specifically Bihar. And a spin was sought to be given that this was contractualization of the armed forces, and that those who are clear that they are there inside for only 4 years would not have the levels of commitment that a soldier has, typically spending a lifetime. But the fact of the matter is that the Indian Army and the armed forces, not just in India, but around the world, including the Navy and the Air Force, typically are very strict pyramidal structures where even otherwise, if you look at it in the present, a soldier spends something like 15 years in the army and then moves out. Insofar as the short service commission is concerned, there are already forces where officers spend as little as 5 years and sometimes 10 or 15 years in the forces and then move on. So it's not that this is something very new, but then this is aimed at changing the age profile of the armed forces by making them younger, because remember, these Agniveers in the age group of 17 to 21 would be spending that much time, and about 22, 23 years of age, max 23 years of age, they will be getting out, which means with every fresh batch, the age profile of the forces would be changing, and of course, the spin-off of a disciplined set of people with a lot of integrity and ethos of commitment and sacrifice coming in from the forces, getting absorbed back into the society. There were concerns raised about unemployment of these people who have very general fighting training, but then those concerns were, remember, addressed by the Army, Navy, Air Force, top echelons really coming out and assuaging those concerns and explaining how the government would stand with these Agniveers coming out of the forces by way of training, by way of further education, by way of soft loans, by way of enterprise, by way of startups support and whatnot. So I think Prime Minister really taking out this opportunity when the first batch of Agniveers started training across the arms of the forces and to engage directly with them, explaining to them the rationale and making sure that there are no concerns whatsoever left, and that all these people get trained with full commitment and with full involvement in whatever the courses have been designed for them.
All right, Abhishek, thank you for taking us through those details. The visuals we are putting on our screens of Rajnath Singh as well as Prime Minister Modi, who are addressing the Agniveers. The first batch of the Agniveers, remember the training of the first batch of the future Agniveers started on 2nd of January this year in different parts of the country. In fact, these young Agniveers who started the new chapter of their lives under the Agnipath scheme that was launched last year in June. The Agnipath scheme, remember, was launched last year in June, and from here, in fact, here on, once their training that began on 2nd of January, for the next 6 months, they will be undergoing rigorous training, and upon the completion of this training, they will be ready to play out an important role in serving the nation. Also remember, according to the Indian Army, as has been put out in several of those media addresses, the recruitment process for the first batch of Agniveers under the Agnipath scheme is almost complete. In fact, those recruited have reported in different regimental centers of the army in fact, it was in last year when they had when they had applied for it. Abhishek Kapoor, our executive editor, continues to be with us. Abhishek, once again for our viewers, talk to us about the Agnipath scheme when it was launched last year, and of course this misinformation that was being tried, that was being spread around it. How important is this address of Prime Minister's outreach to those young Agniveers out there?
Well, the importance is that all those concerns that were raised, the kind of politicization we saw Samiksha at that time. Remember Rahul Gandhi saying that our youth are being used as cannon fodder, and that how would those people who have been trained for 6 months compete with those who are trained for 15 years? But that's not the case now. So let's just understand what the training module is. So there is a basic training which is for about 10 weeks, and this would be about familiarizing these people who have joined these youngsters into the ways of the army, and to get physically tough, mentally tough, and get motivation. And then subsequently they would have a little more intense, advanced military training going up to 20, 21 weeks. So if you look at it, taken together, about 6 to 8 months of advanced training, they would be trained in weaponry equipment.
Yes. Yes, Abhishek, yes. Just hold your thoughts for a moment. We have Major General K.K. Sinha also joining us. Sir, a very good morning. If I can get your quick thoughts on the significance of Prime Minister's mega outreach to the young Agniveers of the country.
Good morning and Jai Hind. I think, first batch of Agniveer and Prime Minister is interacting with, the DBs. This is a concept, which has brought a lot of discussions in the country. But I have been always from the day one, when I say that, the people who matter, the people who are actually serving in the ground and who knows the requirement of the day, they have been coming and, giving the good aspect of this scheme. See, we were there is a system, which is a proven. That's fine. There is a lot of strength in that, and it doesn't mean that, if a reform takes place or a system changes, means something wrong is coming up. The way people do not know, who have not seen things ground, sometimes you have got, a glass you put on, that something which is, not required, which is required to be changed as per the change of time, people try to defend that. And I have been saying that, Agniveer has to be given try. This is not a fixed thing. It has just come up. It is going on. If something is there, then you roll back. There is a requirement where it gets validated and changes are required. That is it gets incorporated. And that is exactly happening in Agniveer. The Agniveer, which has, come up with a, there is a systematic and very, very long, it has evolved after a period of time of deliberation. It is not just as a come up. The world is changing, technology is changing. 21st century hybrid war requires an absolutely fresh blood. I will give you the example of this mobile phone. Mobile phone comes, the older lot takes, time to adjust with it. The younger generation is, with no time, whether they are, technical failure or not, they pick up. Today's warfare, it is like that. And the warfare is going in all dimensions, whether it is cyber, space, and these are all has to be integrated. You see how the warfare Ukraine war is going on, and this war has brought out and is an eye-opener. So I think it is a very good scheme. We have to march with the time. And what the Prime Minister is doing, that, they are firm. And if nothing like that, the scheme has come, it is not going, if tomorrow its requirement, Agniveer will change. It has to be, it is literally evolved. And when the people who matter, who are actually responsible for, as on today, for the security of the country, they are being saying in that they are not doing under the pressure. If they are having 30, 40, 50 years, as we have served for 40 years, so we knew at that time, that strength point, which I think, it has been incorporated in our city.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for speaking to us. So, Major General K.K. Sinha there sharing his insights with us. And as we speak, you can see those visuals in which the Prime Minister, Rajnath Singh, the Defence Minister, is seen addressing those young Agniveers. Major Gaurav Arya also joining us this morning. Major Gaurav Arya, good morning. If you can, for our viewers also who are tuning in, if you can once again take us to the finer details of how the recruitment drive of the Agnipath scheme looks like, and also talk to us, about this false notion that was being spread back then when it comes to the Agnipath scheme.
So, there are 2-3 things like General K.K. Sinha has very rightly pointed out. Warfare has changed, and the way you look at recruitment, the way you look at human resource development, that too needs to change. This Ukraine-Russia war has opened the eyes of many. 2-3 things. First of all, many people and many senior people believed that Russia will never invade Ukraine, but it did. And when it did, many senior people in India, a lot of people in think tanks, actually thought that the war will be over in a week or so. But it's still going on as we speak, and it's going to complete 1 year next month, in February. I think 23rd or 24th of February will complete 1 year. So a lot of notions regarding armored warfare, regarding artillery, so many things have changed over the past 1 year because of this war. And I think we need to look at things differently. A lot of veterans who had opposed Agnipath, we must give them their due. When they opposed Agnipath or when they were vociferous against Agnipath, it was not because of any wrong intent. It was because of the love for the armed forces. When you spend 30-40 years in the army, you tend to treat it like a family. 10 months in a year, all of us are with the units. It's only 1 or 2 months that we are with our families. So that sense of belonging, that sense of pride, that sense of attachment is very normal. It's more than any other profession. It's 100 times more than any other profession. So any veteran, especially the senior veterans, who had even opposed Agnipath, did so from immense amount of love for the army. Yes. Not because of anything else. But the thing is that everything changes. And Agnipath has changed the way Indian Army looks at recruitment and human resource. And of course, we welcome it. And I think the Prime Minister addressing all the young Agniveers, I think this will go a long way in sort of motivating them and pumping them up.
Well, absolutely. And also, Major Gaurav Arya, the queries also that were raised, rightly so, they were all addressed also by the army personnel. We have Major General Rajan Kochar also joining us. Major General, good morning. What is your thoughts on Prime Minister's mega outreach there to the young Agniveers of the country?
I think it's a very excellent gesture on the part of the Prime Minister, because it's going to give a lot of encouragement to the Agniveers who have to undergo this training, the first 6 months of their crucial training, and then they're going to be sent to their units. So I think it is sending a large message all across to the Indian Army or to the Indian Armed Forces that how important the Prime Minister or the government feels that the Agniveers should respond in a manner that what we have been talking about. I have been an exponent of speaking against Agniveer, but what Major Gaurav Arya has just said, it sums up our sentiments, because we don't speak from any political platform. We speak for the love of the army. And having been in the army for 37 years and 4 years of training right from National Defence Academy, and I feel that the training is very important, and therefore these 6 months of rigorous training which the Agniveers are going to undergo will largely impact how effective they are going to be in the armed forces. So I think Prime Minister has send a right signal, a right message even to the people, especially in the political arena, who were opposing Agniveer, because their agenda is different. So we should not fall prey to that agenda. We should feel that if an Agniveer can deliver in 6 months, because it's only a test of time, it's a matter of time, we will come to know how well they're going to be trained. And I have no doubts in the training capability of the armed forces. They train it, and it's going to be a huge challenge for them. Let me tell you, it's not going to be easy for the trainers, because to complete a training in almost 50% lesser time would actually involve a great challenge for them. So wish them all the very best, and I am confident and I am hopeful and optimistic that Agnipath will deliver.
Well, absolutely rightly put. So Major General Rajan Kochhar there also sharing his views. And as he puts it, of course, those concerns were valid that were raised by the army personnel. But let's not forget, people in the political arena did try to peddle that false information. For now, moving on to more news break. Coming in, this one from Kerala. All right, news break coming in from Kerala, where a big controversy has erupted over the CPIM cadre that recorded nude visuals of 34 women, including fellow comrades in Aleppo of Kerala. We are now given to understand that no legal action has been taken against those involved in taking those visuals of those women who are also from the party itself. We are also given to understand that the BJP will be staging a protest against the CPIM workers for lack of inaction on part of the party, as well as the state police against those CPIM workers who were involved in shooting those pictures, in fact taking videos of women, which included colleagues from their own party itself. For now, we're given to understand that the police has not taken any action. No legal action has been taken against those involved in this. A reaction that has come in from the Kerala BJP leader. Let's listen in.
ആലപ്പുഴയിലെ CPM നേതാവ് KP സോണയ്ക്കെതിരെ ഗുരുതരമായിട്ടുള്ള ആരോപണമാണ് ഉയർന്നു വന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഏതാണ്ട് 17ഓളം സ്ത്രീകളുടെ 30ഓളം നഗ്നചിത്രങ്ങൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ മൊബൈലിലുണ്ട് എന്ന് പാർട്ടി പരിശോധിച്ചപ്പോൾ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കപ്പെട്ടു എന്നാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ പറയപ്പെടുന്നത്. വളരെ ഗുരുതരമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു സാഹചര്യമാണുള്ളത്. കാരണം ഇത്രയും ഗുരുതരമായിട്ടുള്ള ആരോപണം ഉണ്ടായപ്പോൾ പോക്സോ കേസ് ചുമത്താൻ പറ്റുന്ന തരത്തിലുള്ള തെളിവുകൾ ഉള്ളപ്പോൾ കേരളത്തിലെ പോലീസ് എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ഇവർക്കെതിരെ നിയമ നടപടികൾ സ്വീകരിക്കുന്നില്ല, എന്തുകൊണ്ട് കേസെടുത്ത് അന്വേഷണം നടത്തുന്നില്ല എന്നുള്ളത് വളരെ ഗുരുതരമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ചോദ്യമാണ്. ഇവിടെ വനിതാ കമ്മീഷന് ആ തരത്തിലുള്ള വലിയ സംവിധാനങ്ങൾ ഈ കേരളത്തിൽ നിലവിലുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ ഇത്രയും ഗുരുതരമായിട്ടുള്ള ആരോപണം ഒരു CPM നേതാവായതുകൊണ്ട് മാത്രം അത് മൂടിവെക്കപ്പെടുകയാണ്. അയക്കെതിരെ നടപടിയെടുക്കാൻ, KP സോണയ്ക്കെതിരെ നിയമപരമായിട്ടുള്ള നടപടിയെടുക്കാൻ, കേസെടുക്കാൻ പോലീസ് ഇതുവരെ തയ്യാറായിട്ടില്ല എന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം, കേരളത്തിലെ സാധാരണക്കാരെ സംബന്ധിച്ച്
And Ashwin, they're reporting live from Thiruvananthapuram. Ashwin, to begin with, the details of this case are absolutely shocking. Take us through the details, how this controversy came to light. And there has, of course, been a lack of inaction, not just a lack of action, not just on part of the party, but also on part of the state police, where we understand no legal action has been taken against those who apparently shot those nude videos of those women.
Yes, Samiksha, in fact, a very shocking incident has come to light. AP Sona is a CPM member. He is an area committee member of CPM in Alappuzha district. Now, 2 months ago, he was caught red-handed while he was taking a video of a woman. And while he was caught, the people who caught him also looked into his mobile to be shocked to find that there were almost 34 women's nude visuals that he had recorded. Now, this person is a very important member of the CPM in the area as well. He's also holding critical positions in the municipality of Alappuzha as well. Now, what happened after this incident came to light? Shockingly, the victims have gone to the party instead of filing a case in the police station. Number two, the party, after receiving the complaint of 34 different women who has been subjected to this kind of an abuse, the party also decided not to inform the police. No women commission has come forward. It's been 2 months, and despite there has been a growing controversy in this regard, even after 2 months, the party was unable to take him out. And now, under pressure, the party has finally decided to throw him out of the party only after the party had made an in-person committee within the party itself, and they submitted a report, and based on the report, AP Sona has been taken out of the party. Now, what we see here is that absolute, what we see here, there is no involvement of police, there is no suo motu case registered, there is no women commission coming into power. It's been almost 2 months, and that is what the BJP is also raising over here. Today they are taking out a protest march in the SP of district as well as the municipal corporation as well. So it's been 2 months, no justice has been done, and there is no police case that has been filed despite such growing
Ashwin,
evidence.
stay with us. Just hold your thoughts. We have Tom Vadakan of the BJP also joining us. Sir, this case, the details are absolutely shocking. You know, why do you think there has been a lack of action, not just on part of the party, but also the state police, which has not registered a case, a POXO case against the accused in this case?
Well, the connivance of the government and the support that they get is obvious. And I'm surprised the State Women's Commission has not even reacted. This is a very serious issue, and I think the BJP is justified in carrying out this protest, because I think people of Kerala need to know of the connivance that exists between the police and the state. And this is not healthy in democracy. That case should have been registered, and they should have been booked, and they should have been behind bars by now. But no action has been taken. And why? Because they belong to their cadre or whatever they are, they're connected with the party. This is the criminal nexus that exists between these so-called supporters, and that needs to be broken.
Well, absolutely. So BJP leader Tom Vadakan there sharing his thoughts. This, of course, over this controversy that has erupted from Kerala, where CPIM workers have been accused of shooting nude videos of their party workers. More news coming in, this one from the national capital, where it's the AAP versus the BJP again, this time again over the mayor elections. We are given to understand now the BJP MLAs have arrived at the Delhi Assembly carrying oxygen cylinders, wearing oxygen masks. Remember, fourth part of this assembly session begins today. We'll put out those visuals also, dramatic visuals that are coming in which you can see the BJP MLAs arriving at the Delhi Assembly carrying oxygen cylinders and wearing oxygen masks. This as the Delhi Assembly session begins today. So it's AAP versus the BJP face-off yet again. The visuals there coming in of what is being termed as a mask protest by the BJP leaders in the national capital. There you see the BJP leaders who are present in large numbers, who are there arriving in the Delhi Assembly, wearing those oxygen cylinders and the oxygen masks. We'll try and go across to Piyush Mishra and our Delhi reporters to get us more details. But another high voltage drama that seems to be taking place in the national capital. We have Harsha joining us live from the national capital. Harsha, take us through the details. Why exactly are the BJP workers wearing those oxygen masks and carrying oxygen cylinders in the Delhi Assembly?
So, Samiksha, it is a way to protest in the Delhi Assembly. Not much. It's not being much day to the scuffle we saw in the Delhi Assembly between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP leaders over the mayor election. We saw how there was a tight scuffle between both the party. BJP was alleging that it was AAP councillors who had hit and misbehaved with the women councillors of BJP, while the AAP on the other side was saying it was BJP councillors who had misbehaved with them. A scuffle, a dramatic visual we have seen before also, but now today we are seeing the fourth session of the assembly has started, and today BJP is showcasing it. They are trying to showcase. They have come here in the protest to secure themselves so that Aam Aadmi Party councillors doesn't misbehave with them this time in the assembly election. And this is a way to protest where they are clearly stating that our AAP councillors could do anything in their favor, in their power to dominate the BJP councillors. It is a way to protest, and now before this assembly session start, the way the all BJP councillors have come to the assembly election, it has to see how Aam Aadmi Party councillors are going to take this side, because we have seen high voltage drama in the streets of national capital where BJP councillors and Aam Aadmi Party councillors were protesting. BJP councillors said AAP had...
नहीं आपके एलजी के प्रवक्ता हैं, नहीं आप एलजी के प्रवक्ता हैं, आप किसके प्रवक्ता हैं? आप एलजी के प्रवक्ता हैं, नहीं एलजी ने गुंडागर्दी की है दिल्ली में, आपके एलजी के दिल भी मानता है। रामवीर विदुड़ी जी उपराज्यपाल महोदय के वकील बनके यहाँ पे सदन के आगे आए हैं। भाई मान्य सदस्यगण, हिटलर शाही नहीं चलेगी। आप बैठ जाइए। हिटलर शाही नहीं चलेगी। पक्ष के विधायकों का भी दर्द समझिए। एलजी जास्ती करे और वो यहाँ भी ना रोए। बैठ जाइए प्लीज। मैं माननीय सदस्यों से प्रार्थना कर रहा हूँ कृपया अपनी कुर्सी पर बैठे। माननीय सदस्य अपनी कुर्सी पर बैठे, मैं प्रार्थना कर रहा हूँ। मैं माननीय सदस्यों से प्रार्थना कर रहा हूं कि अपनी सीट पर बैठे। माननीय सदस्यगण, मैं माननीय सदस्यों से प्रार्थना कर रहा हूं, कृपया अपनी सीट पर बैठे। हाउस 10 मिनट तक के लिए एडजॉर्न किया जाता है।
The session of the Delhi Assembly being adjourned for the next 10 minutes. To remember that there has been a face-off of sorts between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP over this. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party has convened a session of the Delhi Assembly for about 3 days. Now, the BJP, of course, says that it should be extended to 10 days and that the government in Delhi does not want to have a question hour. We'll get you more of that in just a bit. Stay with us on Republic TV.
When timeless European design meets cutting-edge technology, it's QO. QO, European bath lounges.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का।
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic, 47.3%. 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India #1.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjeet Singh Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjit Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say.
Prime Minister Modi silences the Agniveer critics, interacts with the first batch of Agniveers. The Prime Minister is set to hold a mega roadshow in the national capital today. The BJP's two-day national executive meeting gets underway today. The party's top brass will be in attendance. Mega IT crackdown in Karnataka. Multi-locations raids are held on a Congress leader. As the worst ever crisis hits Pakistan, the Prime Minister admits he's embarrassed to beg for loans. And it's a mega showdown in the Delhi Assembly. Sloganeering and ruckus inside while the BJP protests outside. Well, we're now cutting across to pictures that we are getting from the national capital, where I think actor Jacqueline Fernandez has arrived for her hearing that takes place in the... I think that's Sukesh Chandrasekhar, in fact. He's going inside the Patiala House Court. We are told that Jacqueline Fernandez will also be arriving shortly for this hearing at Delhi's Patiala House Court. This is in connection with the 200 crore money laundering case involving the conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar. Now, do remember that the last hearing, I think Jacqueline had applied for permission to travel amid the ongoing investigation. We are going to cut across to those pictures that we are just getting of Jacqueline Fernandez, who's making her way to the Patiala House Court to remember that she's been named as an accused in this case. I think we're going to go across to Madhurima. She's joining us live from New Delhi. Now, Madhurima, in the last hearing, of course, Jacqueline Fernandez had asked for permission to travel abroad. She wanted to travel to Bahrain. Give us more details in terms of what we are expecting today.
Well, this is going to be a crucial hearing, Nupur, because we know that Jacqueline is an accused, and this is coming after Nora Fatehi had given a detailed statement in front of the judge at the Patiala House Court itself. We know that the accusations against Jacqueline are quite stringent, and where the investigative agencies at the time when she was seeking permission to fly abroad to travel abroad at that time had also expressed their apprehensions regarding the trust on the actress. They were apprehensions from the side of investigative agencies that she might try to skip all over, and there's a risk that she could, she could go absconding, which is why we've seen that Jacqueline Fernandez has been, facing a lot of trouble as far as these court hearings are concerned. Today it is expected that, more evidence from the side of the investigative agencies and Jacqueline's participation will be questioned, Nupur, because remember, Nora Fatehi and Jacqueline Fernandez were two people, they were people of interest in this entire matter, where Nora Fatehi has turned an approver because of the connection. She was able to prove that yes, the money that was received and the car that was received was after a performance at a certain place. However, Jacqueline's connection with Shuke's, seems much deeper, and which is why the kind of interrogation that has happened with Jacqueline was also much aggressive, Nupur. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how court responds today to the arguments from both the sides.
Right, Madhurima, bringing us all the details of what we're expecting at the Patiala House Court today. Thank you for joining us for the moment.
After the unprecedented win in Gujarat Assembly election, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold a mega roadshow in national capital. This roadshow is going to start from Patel Chowk roundabout and will stop at the NDMC Convention Centre, where the National Executive meeting is held today at around 4 p.m. The roadshow will start at 3 p.m. and the roadshow is about 20 minutes, and the route diversions have been done all around that route for almost 2 hours. This National Executive meeting, the participants will be 12 CMs, 35 Union Minister, 37 State President and 350 Executive Member and several General Secretaries as well. Amit Shah, JP Nadda to also be the part of this National Executive meeting. In this National Executive meeting, the key agenda is going to be the organization, how to strengthen and to improve before the 2023 Assembly elections in several states and also the 2024 general elections. In this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will give a boost and mantra how to go ahead. Along with video journalist Mahinder, Harsha Chundwani for Republic TV.
All right, now locals, of course, are continuing to protest against lawlessness in Pakistan's South Waziristan. The protesters had proposed a 10-point agenda to the government earlier, and on the 11th of January, of course, major roads connecting Pakistan's South Waziristan region were blocked by protesters as their sit-in protest had continued. Let's go across to Gursimran, who has more details. He joins us from Jammu. Gursimran, tell us more about this 10-point agenda that was proposed by the protesters, and what is the government doing to diffuse the situation?
See, there are widespread protests that are taking place in South Waziristan. This is especially related to the situation that is emerging in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, because the Pakistani government has totally failed. The ceasefire agreement between the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and Pakistani government has come to an end, which has led to intensified attacks by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and that's why the people are on the roads. They said that the government has failed to maintain the law and order situation, and the terror incidents are on continuous rise in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, South Waziristan and other nearby areas. What they are saying that the terrorism is on the rise, and other crimes in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region, they are also increasing with each passing day. The administration, be it the government or the civil administration, they both have failed to manage the law and order situation, and that's why the people have staged week-long protests in South Waziristan. And what they have said, that till their 10-point demands are not met, they will continue to agitate against the government. What they are saying, that their lives are being risked because the policy of the government when it comes to the terror front has completely failed. TTP, which Pakistan once thought will cease its operations once Taliban will take over Afghanistan, has turned out to be a nightmare for the Pakistani government, because TTP has intensified their operations on the Pakistani security forces, as well as at many places civilians were also targeted by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. So that is something really worrisome for the Pakistani government, and now their own people have gone against them, saying that the government has failed to maintain the law and order situation.
Oh yes, absolutely. You were mentioning the fact that there were attempts perhaps by Pakistan to be able to ensure that the Afghan Taliban can actually intercede and perhaps work out a truce. But that's really not happened, because after, intense negotiations, we actually saw the Taliban forces who are part of the TTP actually regroup in Afghanistan and come back to carry out these killings and essentially a reign of terror. All right, we're cutting across to news that we are just getting. As the Supreme Court has dismissed a plea that has been filed by Vijay Mallya against the Karnataka High Court's order, which had dismissed his plea to restore his appeal before the Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunal. And the council has said that they have filed an application seeking discharge as per his last order. The Chief Justice has said that the petitioner has not contacted the council despite repeated attempts. The petitioner has taken no steps to undertake these proceedings, and this now stands dismissed. So obviously this is going to be a huge blow for Vijay Mallya. Let's go across to Rhythm Bharat for more details on this. Rhythm, this is a huge body blow for Vijay Mallya, is it not? The Supreme Court essentially dismissing his plea.
That's right. Nupur, not the first time that Vijay Mallya, who's been held guilty of contempt in the Supreme Court, has been stated that he's not even coming before the Supreme Court, and therefore this particular plea of his that was asking for discharge before the Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunal against the Karnataka High Court's order has been dismissed. In fact, the Chief Justice of India made a very pertinent observation when he said the petitioners not contacted the lawyers despite repeated attempts. The Chief Justice also said the petitioner has taken no steps to undertake these proceedings, and hence it is dismissed. Remember, in July we had seen that contempt of court orders had been issued. He was found guilty of it. In 2017, it was said he issued contempt. The former Chief Justice of India, Justice Bharat, had also held void and inoperative the transaction by which Mallya had transferred $40 million received from British firm Diageo to his 3 children, and he had said that the amount needs to be deposited back here. So a lot of times in the past also we've seen after the extradition proceedings that have been kicked off against him has been stated that he's not even contacting his lawyers. The Supreme Court gives a big blow to Vijay Mallya, dismissing his appeal. And there was also his lawyers, in fact, earlier in this case where Vijay Mallya's case, who had requested the Supreme Court to release him from, taking part with Vijay Mallya, who he said untraceable and not responding to any communication in this very case. And the Supreme Court has taken a firm yes. So blow to Mallya.
Absolutely, Rhythm. So this is in a series of setbacks that we are seeing for the fugitive businessman Vijay Mallya. Thank you for joining us, Rhythm. You are with Republic TV. On the other side, we bring you more news, including the Prime Minister is set to hold a mega roadshow in the national capital today. And mega showdown in the Delhi Assembly, sloganeering and ruckus ensues inside, even as the BJP protests outside.
When timeless European design meets cutting-edge technology, it's QO. QO, European Bath Lounges.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjeet Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjeet Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying
We're cutting across to pictures we are now getting for you from Mumbai. These are of the BMC chief Iqbal Singh Chahal and other civic officials are making their way to the ED's office to remember that the ED has issued notices to him and other civic officials seeking details of alleged illegal award of contracts to the Lifeline Hospital Management Services during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the medical services provider was contracted by the BMC to provide services in jumbo COVID centers, allegedly causing a loss of 38 crore rupees to the BMC's coffers. So, Iqbal Singh Chahal, along with the other civic officials, have been issued a notice and they've now made their way to the ED's office in Mumbai to answer questions that are being asked by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, this, of course, is with regards to the illegal award of contracts to the Lifeline Hospital Management Services during the COVID-19 pandemic. The medical services provider was contracted by the BMC to provide services in jumbo COVID centers, allegedly causing a loss of about 38 crore rupees to the coffers of the BMC. Alicia has more details on this now. Alicia, tell us more about what this questioning is likely to focus on. Now, we do know that ED sources had earlier said that this is based on a criminal case being investigated by the Mumbai police.
Well, yes, we know that this is the same case which was earlier registered by Economic Offence Wing of Mumbai Police, and simultaneously where the parallel probe is being looked by the Enforcement Directorate in the money laundering in the awarding to contract to Lifeline Hospital Management Services. So here the notices that has already been served to Iqbal Singh Chahal, who is the BMC chief, asking him to appear before the Enforcement Directorate office in Mumbai because ED wants to seek details of the alleged illegal awards of contract to Lifeline Hospital Management Services during COVID-19 pandemic. Moreover, the medical services, the provider was contracted by BMC to provide services in Jumbo COVID Center, allegedly causing a loss of 38 crore to the BMC coffers. So this is the information that we have gathered, and we even know that in August last year, when the FIR was registered following a complaint that was followed by BJP leader Kirit Somaya, and it was against the 4 people, including Sujit Parkar, who is a family friend of Sanjay Raut. But earlier, when the FIR was registered, it was first probed by Economic Offence Wing of the Mumbai Police that has also similar sent notices to senior BMC officials. But yes, here is also the Enforcement Directorate who is doing a parallel probe into the money laundering over the money that was awarded to Lifeline Management Services Private Limited.
So essentially, Alicia, there are 2 parallel probes that are currently on, one by the Mumbai Police and the other by the Enforcement Directorate. Thank you for joining us, Alicia. You are with Republic, and still to come, the BJP's 2-day National Executive meeting gets underway today. And a mega income tax department crackdown in Karnataka. Multi-locations are raided. They are connected to a Congress leader.
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjeet Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjeet Singh Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic, 47.3%. 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India #1.
Now, pictures on your screen are of a CCTV camera that has captured a hit-and-run incident. Now, this is an incident that has been reported from Chandigarh. In the pictures, it can be seen that a woman is hit by a car in Chandigarh while feeding a stray dog. The incident was caught on CCTV camera and took place near a furniture market late Saturday night, I think. In the video, the car is seen coming from the wrong side of the road and can be seen hitting the woman. Amandeep has more details on this. Amandeep, tell us more about this particular incident. We are told that the driver of the vehicle fled from the spot.
Well, absolutely, Nupur. Driver managed to flee from the spot, but the entire incident has been captured in the CCTV camera that reveals that how a girl during a midnight, she was providing food to the stray dogs, and in fact, all of a sudden, an overspeeding SUV came and she has just run over the girl from the spot. And this incident reported in Sector 53. Immediately, police was informed, and now the further investigation is being conducted, and they are trying to identify the driver as well. Just because there are certain CCTV cameras that has been installed in the nearby areas. Yes. So police has identified the vehicle, and in fact now they are trying to search out the driver who is driving this vehicle with an overspeed.
Amandeep, yes, can you give us more information on the condition of this girl? We are told that she was critical earlier.
Well, absolutely, Nupur. She is into a very critical situation, and in fact, she have received the head injuries, a major head injuries, and even she has been admitted to the hospital, and she is still in a very critical condition and surviving. And doctors are saying that now she is out of danger, but still that uncertainty is prevailing during the treatment. Just because a major head injury, when the SUV hit into that girl, she received a major head injury, and in fact, there are certain kind of fractures has also been received by the girl. Yes.
All right, Amandeep bringing us the details of this. We are told that a police investigation is currently on and the police are trying to nab the driver. Thank you, Amandeep. And here's a look at what's coming up next. Prime Minister Modi will be holding a mega roadshow in the national capital today. And there's been a showdown in the Delhi Assembly, sloganeering and ruckus inside, the BJP protests outside.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic, 47.3%. 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India #1.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर. एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान. जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं.
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए. प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान. उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त. मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है.
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjit Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjit Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching live and breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. We begin with a look at the headlines at 12 this noon. The Prime Minister is set to hold a mega roadshow in the national capital today. The BJP's two-day national executive meeting is set to begin after the roadshow. The BJP's top brass will be in attendance. The Prime Minister silences critics of the Agniveer scheme, interacts with the first batch of Agniveers. After the national capital, horrific hit-and-run cases reported from Chandigarh. The victim's condition remains critical. Mega showdown in the Delhi Assembly, sloganeering and ruckus inside while the BJP protests outside. From Gilgit to Waziristan, mega protests continue as Prime Minister of Pakistan says he's embarrassed to beg. Is Pakistan on the verge of collapse? Well, the BJP's two-day national executive meeting, which is likely to deliberate on its strategy for the assembly and the general elections, will start this evening in the national capital. Ahead of the big event, JP Nadda will be holding a meeting with the in-charges and the co-in-charges from across the country. Right before the start of the national executive meeting, the Prime Minister will also be holding a roadshow for about a kilometre from Patel Chowk to the NDMC head office in central Delhi. Now, accompanying him in the national executive meeting will be about 35 union ministers, 12 chief ministers and 37 regional heads of the BJP. We are looking perhaps at some sort of an extension also for JP Nadda. That's likely to happen as well in this meeting. Let's go across to our correspondents on the ground right now. We've got Harsha, Madhurima as well as Piyush Ori joining us. To you first, Madhurima. Madhurima, this national executive meeting will be kick-started by the Prime Minister's roadshow. It's going to be a mega show of strength. That's what we are learning. Give us an overall sense of what's going to happen.
Well, Nupur, it's going to be a massive roadshow for the Prime Minister because this is also a kind of welcome show and celebratory show after the stupendous performance of the Bharatiya Janata Party in the Gujarat elections. So the Prime Minister will be hailed by the entire party line over there because the connect of the Prime Minister in Gujarat was the primary source which led to this particular victory. Also after the show, there will be an address by JP Nadda at the NDMC Centre. The conclusion of the entire meeting that's going to be tomorrow with the Prime Minister's address, and as you were pointing out that 32 union ministers, 12 chief ministers, deputy chief ministers and state presidents of the Bharatiya Janata Party have already reached here. I'm reporting from the national headquarters of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Right behind me, as you can see, that the entire preparation for this executive meet has been put forward, and JP Nadda is inside right now. He's holding an office bearer meeting with all the states presidents and the top leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this is all to chalk out the strategy for the two-day deliberations that are going to happen today and tomorrow. Let me also highlight that this national executive meet is coming ahead of the assembly elections in the state of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh that are scheduled to take place at the year end, and also ahead of very crucial 2024 elections. We've known that how the Bharatiya Janata Party has always been one step ahead as far as the electoral planning is concerned, and with the extension of JP Nadda that will be announced either today or tomorrow in this executive meeting, the entire plan, the political strategy will be mapped out, and all these leaders, the state presidents, the general secretaries, the chief ministers, the union minister will be allotted the duty that they need to follow, Nupur. So we'll have to wait and watch as to what really comes out of the high, the high stored deliberation that will happen today and tomorrow. We'll be keeping a watch on that, Nupur.
Oh yes, absolutely. Do stay with us, Madhurima. Let's also bring in Harsha right now. She's reporting from the NDMC, and that's where this meeting is going to take place. It's a two-day national executive meeting. Now, Harsha, one of the things that we are hearing is that JP Nadda is likely to get an extension. Now, is this perhaps a way for the BJP to ensure continuance as they head into about 9 assembly elections and, of course, the general elections that are slated for 24?
Exactly, Nupur, rightly stated, because the extension or because the tenure of JP Nadda ends on 20th of January, and the party and the core members of BJP think that it could be in the guidance of JP Nadda if general elections and assembly election could be done in his guidance, and that is the reason where many are endorsing that the extension should be granted, and therefore we're expecting that in this national executive meeting an extension would be granted to JP Nadda of 1 year, so that after general elections, if it need to be, then extension extension or not extension will be there. But till the general election, JP Nadda could be the national president of BJP, and therefore the all preparations are also underway. Nupur, as you can see here clearly, the theme, the entrance of the convention center is right now based on the government initiative, the startup, the power, the strengthening of India, the old construction icons. What initiatives government has done in the entire period after 2014, that has been projected at the entrance of this NDMC convention center, where the national executive meeting is going to be held. And it is almost 1.5 kilometers stretch from Patel Chowk roundabout, from where exactly Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to do a mega roadshow till this NDMC convention center. All chief ministers, 35 union ministers, 37 state heads, 350 executive member will participate today in this executive meeting, and all will be given mantra by Prime Minister Narendra Modi how to go ahead in those elections, in those assembly where BJP is little bit weak, and all those Lok Sabha seat also where the booth has to be strengthened, especially Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh where BJP lost its number. How they can regain the crown. So these would be the main mantras of this national executive meeting. As you are seeing, there are so many stakeholders right now as.
Absolutely. So as you are saying, Harsha, obviously this is going to be a stock-taking exercise as well as a planning exercise that we're going to see from the BJP. Thank you, Madhurima, as well as Harsha, for joining us for the moment.
Now, in threat to the Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, it is now being learnt that the accused has been identified as J.S. Pujari, one of the inmates of Hindalga jail in Belagavi, and a team of the Nagpur police along with the ATS also visited the Hindalga jail, and it is now being understood that he has been grilled for several hours. A diary has also been seized from him, which points to 2 sets of phone numbers which has been taken in. The police have found out that one set of the phone numbers belong to businessmen and VVIPs whom J.S. Pujari was going on and targeting and making threat calls from inside the jail. The other set of phone numbers belong to J.S. Pujari's associates is what sources at Hindalga jail are pointing out, and now cops are presently going on and tracking as to where these associates of J.S. Pujari are here. And more of now, the Maharashtra cops will be producing the accused in front of the local court there in Belagavi, and will be seeking a custody for 7 days. With video journalist Bharat Prajwal Prasad reporting for Republic, Bengaluru.
All right, and we are bringing you the latest that we are getting from the Nepal plane crash. We are told that the black box of this ill-fated airliner of Yeti Airways has now been recovered. Now, do remember that the black box contains extremely crucial information in terms of what could perhaps have gone wrong in the final moments before this crash. So, the black box, we are told, has been recovered. Do remember that there were 72 people on board, most of whom seem to have unfortunately lost their lives in this crash. 68 bodies have so far been recovered from the site of the crash. And search and rescue operations, of course, are still continuing for the 4 others. Now, 4 out of the 5 Indians who were on board this ill-fated airliner unfortunately also lost their lives. Pictures on your screen are of the massive ball of fire that this aircraft essentially erupted into on its landing. Tanisha is joining us live from the news pit in New Delhi. She has more details. Tanisha, so we are told that the black box, which is essentially a flight data recorder, has now been found. Give us more details of what you're hearing.
Well, right, Nupur, a big development in the case when we talk about the tragic incident that took place yesterday in Nepal, where the black box has finally been recovered today. And it will give us an idea about what actually happened in the last 5 minutes when the plane was about to land at the airport. Because remember, what we're getting to know is this plane was flying from Kathmandu to Pokhara, which is about a distance of 25 minutes. And soon after it took off, I mean after 20 minutes of taking off from Kathmandu, Kathmandu, and just 5 minutes before landing is when the crash had happened. Locals have also told Republic that it was because the pilot wanted to save the human settlement that's there near the airport is why he took a wrong turn. But the black box that has now been recovered will give out information as to what actually transpired during those tragic 5 minutes because of which the crash had happened. But also what we're getting to know is that the same plane was trying to land at runway number 12. The same plane earlier in the morning landed at runway number 30, but it is because of the pilot's decision to land at runway number 12, which leads towards the old airport, could have led to this accident, is what we're getting to know. However, officially nothing has been confirmed yet. What we're also getting to know from the reports is that there were 5 Indians on board, out of which 4 have been identified. They are from Uttar Pradesh. Identification of one other person, one other Indian, is also pending. However, all 72 passengers, 72 people on board that were there, 68 passengers and 4 crew members have been identified. Their bodies have been recovered, and it will be handed over to the families today, Nupur.
All right, absolutely. Now, what we're also learning at the moment, of course, is that this was a newly constructed airstrip, and perhaps, questions are being raised about its safety. And not just that, questions are also being raised about the training of the, of these airlines that operate in Nepal, because they do have a poor track record.
Well, rightly said, Nupur. Now remember, this is not the first air crash that Yeti Airlines has, that took place in the Yeti Airlines. There are several other plane crashes in Nepal that took place. When you talk about a history of about 5 years, and the deadliest was in the year 2022. Now remember, this plane crash that we're talking about, which is a 72-seater plane, the Yeti Airlines, it is considered one of the most tragic and biggest incident in the history of Nepal when we talk about in the last 5 years, because remember, nobody could even imagine a 72-seater plane who took off from Kathmandu. 20 minutes it flew fine, and soon as it was about to land at the airport, that is when it crashed. Now, like I was saying, there are reports who have been claiming that the plane was supposed to land at runway number 30, but it took a turn for which it was going to land at runway number 12, which could have led to the accident. However, technical glitch could also be one of the reasons. But all of those will be clear officially once recoveries from the black box, recordings from the black box
as you're
are
pointing
recovered.
out, obviously, the black box will be very critical. Thank you for joining us. We're now cutting across to pictures that we are getting from the national capital. These are of a protest that is taking place outside the Delhi Assembly. Now, do remember that the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party have been at loggerheads with each other. Right now, this is the Aam Aadmi Party led by Arvind Kejriwal, which is carrying banners. Let's just dip into the audio and see what this is about.
देशों में पढ़ाई करने भेजते हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे गरीबों के, मिडिल क्लास के बच्चों को भी विदेशों जैसी अच्छी से अच्छी शिक्षा मिले। अब सब बच्चे तो विदेश जा नहीं सकते, तो हमने दिल्ली में स्कूल अच्छे कर दिए। अब हम अपने सरकारी स्कूलों के टीचर्स को विदेशों में ट्रेनिंग के लिए भेज रहे हैं। वो वहाँ पे दुनिया की बेस्ट ट्रेनिंग लेके आएंगे। हम उन्हें फिनलैंड भेज रहे हैं। फिनलैंड दुनिया का वो देश माना जाता है जहां दुनिया में सबसे अच्छी शिक्षा फिनलैंड में दी जाती है। तो हम दिल्ली के सरकारी स्कूलों के टीचर्स को फिनलैंड भेज रहे हैं, वहां से वो ट्रेनिंग लेके आए और हमारे सरकारी स्कूलों में हमारे बच्चों को शिक्षा दें। अभी तक 1000 से ज्यादा टीचर्स की और प्रिंसिपल्स की हम विदेशों में ट्रेनिंग करा चुके हैं। अब लगभग 30 के करीब ऐसे टीचर्स या प्रिंसिपल्स को फिनलैंड भेजना था हमें। एलजी साहब ने ऑर्डर कर दिया कि ये फिनलैंड नहीं जाएंगे और देखो अगर इनको इंडिया में ही कहीं ट्रेनिंग करा दो। ये तो ठीक नहीं है, ये तो बिल्कुल गलत है। एलजी साहब को क्या प्रॉब्लम है? दिल्ली के लोगों की चुनी हुई सरकार, दिल्ली के बच्चे, दिल्ली के लोगों का टैक्स का पैसा, दिल्ली के लोगों के पैसे से उनको टीचर्स को ट्रेनिंग के लिए भेज रहे हैं। एलजी साहब क्यों रोक रहे हैं? एलजी साहब रोकने वाले कौन होते हैं? एलजी साहब क्यों रोक रहे हैं टीचर्स की ट्रेनिंग को? मुझे बहुत ज्यादा दुख हुआ इस बात से कि एलजी साहब दिल्ली के लोगों की बच्चों को अच्छी शिक्षा नहीं दिलवाना चाहते। मैं आपको पकड़ना एक बार। मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर लेके आया हूँ, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है। ये देखो, सारे जने कैमरे पे दिखा दो, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है। इस ऑर्डर में लिखा है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 4 जुलाई 2018 को बोला था, लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर ऑफ दिल्ली हैज नॉट बीन इंटरेस्टेड विद एनी इंडिपेंडेंट डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर। ये देखो, इसमें क्या कह रही है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर को कोई भी स्वतंत्र निर्णय लेने का अधिकार नहीं है। ये 2 बार लिखा, उनको पता था एलजी एक बार में नहीं मानेंगे। एक तो उन्होंने 284 नंबर पैराग्राफ में लिखा और एक उन्होंने 475 नंबर पैराग्राफ में फिर लिखा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने, देयर इज नो इंडिपेंडेंट अथॉरिटी वेस्टेड इन लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर टू टेक डिसीजन। इसमें लिखा हुआ है कि लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर स्वतंत्र रूप से कोई निर्णय नहीं ले सकते। सुप्रीम कोर्ट कह रहा है कि लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर स्वतंत्र रूप से कोई निर्णय नहीं ले सकते। फिर लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर साहब फिनलैंड की शिक्षकों की ट्रेनिंग को रोकने वाले कौन होते हैं? वो क्यों रोक रहे हैं? वो कहते हैं मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट को नहीं मानता। अगर कोई लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर या गवर्नर इस देश का ये कहेगा मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट को नहीं मानता, तो फिर तो इस देश के अंदर ना जनतंत्र बचेगा, ना संविधान बचेगा, कुछ नहीं बचेगा। हमें बेहद दुख है कि आज हम सब लोगों को, दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री को, दिल्ली के सारे चुने हुए विधायकों को एलजी हाउस मार्च करके कोई बड़ी चीज के लिए नहीं जाना पड़ रहा है, मात्र इस चीज के लिए जाना पड़ रहा है कि एलजी साहब हमारे शिक्षकों को फिनलैंड ट्रेनिंग के लिए जाने दो, उनको मत रोको। अगर दिल्ली का चुनाव हुआ, दिल्ली के 2 करोड़ लोगों ने वोट डाल के अपने मुख्यमंत्री को चुना, 70 में से 62 सीट दी, वो मुख्यमंत्री अगर अपने शिक्षकों को फिनलैंड ट्रेनिंग नहीं भेज सकता तो फिर क्या फायदा ऐसे चुनाव का और क्या फायदा है जनतंत्र का? अभी हम सारे जा रहे हैं और मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि एलजी साहब को अपनी गलती का एहसास होगा और वो शिक्षकों को ट्रेनिंग के लिए जाने दें। बहुत सारे काम इन दिनों में एलजी साहब ने, जैसे मैंने अभी आपको दिखाया, एलजी साहब ने दिल्ली में योगा क्लासेस रोक दी। बताओ, योगा क्लासेस रोकने से एलजी साहब को क्या फायदा हुआ? 17,000 लोग डेली योगा करते थे, मैं उनको फ्री में योगा कराता था। एलजी साहब ने अफसरों को बोल के दिल्ली के सारे मोहल्ला क्लिनिक्स की सारी पेमेंट रुकवा दी, दवाइयां रुकवा दी, टेस्ट रुकवा दिए, डॉक्टरों की तनख्वाह रुकवा दी, मोहल्ला क्लिनिक का रेंट रुकवा दिया, मोहल्ला क्लिनिक का बिजली का बिल रुकवा दिया, दिल्ली जल बोर्ड की सारी पेमेंट्स रुकवा दी। इस बार हम चाहते थे 24 घंटे पानी और यमुना की सफाई के ऊपर मिशन मोड में काम करना, तो हमने कई हजार करोड़ रुपए जल बोर्ड के लिए रखे थे, कोई पेमेंट नहीं होने दी दिल्ली जल बोर्ड की। एलजी साहब ने डीटीसी के बस मार्शल, जो हमने महिलाओं की सुरक्षा के लिए बस मार्शल लगाए हैं डीटीसी की बसों में, उनकी 3 महीने से पेमेंट नहीं होने दी। पता नहीं कितने सारे काम एलजी साहब ने रोक दिए। तो ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर की कोई वैल्यू ही नहीं है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट कह रहा है एलजी साहब कोई एक्शन नहीं ले सकते, कोई स्वतंत्र रूप से निर्णय नहीं ले सकते, तो फिर एलजी साहब ये सारे काम कैसे रुकवा सकते हैं?
सरकार से क्या मांगे आपकी?
अभी एलजी साहब के पास जा रहे हैं और मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि एलजी साहब सुप्रीम कोर्ट, मेरी अपील एलजी साहब से एक ही अपील है, संविधान को माने, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर को माने। जब मैं परसों मिला, कहते हैं ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट की राय है। मैं एलजी साहब से कहूंगा एक अच्छा एडवाइजर रखें जो संविधान समझता हो और जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और सुप्रीम कोर्ट को समझता हो। एलजी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर सुप्रीम कोर्ट की राय नहीं होती है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर सबके ऊपर बाध्य होते हैं, बाइंडिंग होते हैं। सीधे यहीं से चल रहे हैं, कोशिश करेंगे।
परसों आप मिले थे तो उन्होंने इसे राय बताया। एक कैमरा लग जाओ फटाक से उस पे यार।
Kejriwal over there laying out a litany of complaints against the Lieutenant Governor. We'll have to wait and watch out for how the BJP reacts to this. Also, he has accused the LG VK Saxena of allegedly putting pressure on officials to stop development work that's being done by the government of Delhi. I think we've got Harsha with us right now. Harsha, that was a large list of complaints that Arvind Kejriwal seemed to have against the LG. Now, he also said that the LG is disrespecting the Supreme Court's order.
No, but this is the second time when a leader from Aam Aadmi Party is going to visit LG and demand for a training program that teachers should be sent for a training program to Finland. Let me tell you that teachers were supposed to go in December to Finland for a training program, and a letter from Raj Niwas clearly stated